So, time ends in 3, 2, 1, now.
All right, everyone, it is now time for the Resident Evil 7 run, so without any further ado, Deschain, take it away.
Hi everyone, I'm deschain33. So today we have Resident Evil 7 new game Easy. It's a fun run. The most optimized category and the most one that everyone runs is new game plus easy. It's a bit more comfy. You have infinite ammo. You have a saw. New game easy is a bit harder in that you have to conserve your ammo and make sure every shot counts. So I'm excited to showcase it to you today. So I know we had an incentive for the language, so let's get that over. Which language won today?
It looks like Spanish has won.
Spanish? All right. Perfect. So we're just going to get started because the first, for those who don't know, Resident Evil 7 doesn't have skippable cutscenes. The first cutscene is about 2.5 minutes, so we can just get started. So time will start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So this feels weird because I'm so used to Japanese. Some things to talk about for the game. So competitively, we play on the Zero D Japanese censored version. What that means is that the gory bits are cut out. We'll see the differences of those, and I'll explain the time saves as they happen. But the main point of that is we play on it because it saves 23.5 seconds over the course of the run. Without us having to do anything special or anything, it just saves that time. So to explain a little bit of the story, this is Mia. It's our wife. We want to go save her. She's been missing for 3 years. That gets explained a bit more during the cutscene. But yeah, the game's mostly the movement. It will be taking lines very tight. So you'll see me mostly looking at like a 45-degree angle towards the ground. And then as certain mechanics come up, we'll talk about that as well. But we're coming into Guest House, which is every RE7 runner's favorite section, because you spend a lot of time here.
Hola. Soy Ethan. Hey, oye, ¿cómo estás? Te perdí de vista la otra noche.
Of course, the infamous long driving cutscene where he's like, I finally found my wife. And it's like, oh, okay. That's kind of the reason I don't run this game myself. Speaking of which, what made you decide to run this game?
So I started out speedrunning last year as a Resident Evil 2 remake runner, and I put in about 700 hours over the course of the year, and I just got tired of the randomness. So Resident Evil 7 actually has very little to no RNG. If you did something wrong, if something goes wrong, you messed up, pretty much. Except on Madhouse. Madhouse has RNG when it comes to new game because of ammo drops. So I was just looking for a new game, and Marforia put out a tutorial for new game Easy, and I've been watching Zeke a lot because Zeke. I think I started watching Zeke when he was running his Claire A standard, because he did a month-long Resident Evil 2 remake grind, and then I just kept watching once it was 7, and it just interested me so much that all this stuff happened because I'd never beaten 7 casually. It was too scary. Literally, I got to March 2 and it just stopped. Could not finish it. It was too terrifying. Which tells you something. So Resident Evil 7 was a return to the survival horror aspect for Resident Evil games, and they did a really good job. It won't seem as scary during the run because we have the graphics cranked down as well as brightness turned up. What's up, Jack? Oh, okay, he's gone. Bye, Jack. See you soon. And the reason for the graphics being turned down is we want to crank our frames as much as possible. So I have my frame rate capped at 350 FPS. It's mainly only used in Guest House, but your movement's actually faster the higher your frames are as well. But you don't want it too high because otherwise the game soft locks. Because a lot of triggers are tied to audio, and if your frame rate's too high, the audio bugs out, and then you just can't do anything. And it's very fun when that happens. All right, so we're entering Guest House. And in guest house, we'll have our first piece of tech. Retry checkpoint. What this does is it gives us our movement speed from outside a bit, because Ethan will slow down as soon as he gets in the guest house to look around. And we don't want that. For interactions with animations, I'm going to try to be as close to the animation as possible. What that does, it'll give us a good animation. Otherwise, Ethan gets dragged towards objects, which is slow because it just drags you really, really slowly. So you want to be lined up with how he's going to use an item. All right, so coming up is the first skip in the run as well. So normally there's a jump scare here where the body of Andre, one of the sewer gators, pops up. But what you can do is when you're going into this area, you just turn your camera until it can't move anymore and then move diagonally to the left until you hear a bubble and then you've skipped Andre. Bye, Andre. He just doesn't spawn.
And does that save like a significant amount of time, or
I think
is
it's
it
like,
just like
I think it's like 6 seconds, maybe
Okay,
3.
that's
I'm
not
not sure.
too
I think it's 6. It's a decent amount of time. I know there was a point in time where I was doing it wrong, and so I failed it 3 runs in a row, and that was just a miserable day. Definitely got some laughs from chat for that one.
Soy Ethan. ¿Ethan? ¿Estás bien? ¿Qué haces aquí? ¿Qué dices? Me has llamado tú. No, no, yo no te... Te llamé.
So here's Mia. We found her.
¿Te ha visto él?
Clearly we're just done, right? We can leave.
¿Vas aquí?
But
GG's
unfortunately,
game over?
yeah, unfortunately,
Tenemos que irnos ahora.
guest house doesn't work that way. So right now we're in a auto scroller section where you have to follow behind Mia. So let's talk about one of the best features in Resident Evil 7, the menu. As you can see, the game's still running while I'm in the menu. So it allows me to do menuing in real time while waiting for things to happen.
Vida, 3 años.
And the cursor that you can see, I can leave it wherever it is and it will be there. So I can always set up my menu for the items that I'll need next. And then I know it's going to be there. So no having to like flick my mouse somewhere in like RE2 or anything. It's just set up, ready to go. Hi, Mia. So you get bored in guest house a lot. I've started counting cans and just objects around the area, or just staring at like random things.
Creo que es por...
Because you just walk behind Mia for like 5 minutes. Which is another thing that stops people from running this game, which is why they introduced the no guest house category extension, where you'll start after the first, or sorry, right before the first boss fight. So right before Jack 1. But yeah, so I've counted these cans. There's 15 cans in each pile. There's another pile over there.
No fui yo.
Have
Also,
you counted
this-
how many boots?
Yo.
I never got that far yet. I think there was like 4. I guess those are shoes. There's 2 boots, but
Oh.
I count 6. I don't know. We'll count more. But yeah, guest house. You just find something to keep yourself occupied.
Mía, ¿sabes a dónde vamos?
La familia me traía comida por aquí. Me acuerdo. Allí. Es allí. Es aquí. Recuerdo esta habitación. Aquí había otra puerta. Estoy seguro.
So what I'm doing here is I'm just gonna stare at this spot on the wall. It's it's a visual cue that lets me stay close enough that when Mia gets grabbed through the wall, I can go there, but I'm not too close that it doesn't happen. Oh, I completely forgot that all the screams changed too. I've been playing this game on Japanese too much. So all the, like, the dialogue, the dubbing, everything is completely different. So, like, thankfully there's not that many audio cues on NG. On NG Plus, there's an audio cue for a frame perfect shot. I think it's frame perfect. I might be mistaken, but there's an audio cue. And if you've played it on Japanese, you know it for the Japanese audio cue, so it would be harder on NG Plus. So yeah, so Mia now, I don't know, something happened to her. She's just kind of, I don't know, she's got a knife. Hey Mia. And you can block here to take less damage, but it actually is just slow. So you just take all the damage and you'll be fine.
Ethan's poor hands.
Oh yeah, the RE7 and RE8, they just don't like his hands.
I suppose it's because you can't see him get his face cut, because I think they hate his face even more, considering they never
True.
let us see it.
Yeah, honestly, the even in Third Person Village, which just came out, you can't even see his face. He just looks away. It's kind of funny, except that you get to see it in this game. As I point out every time, when everyone's like, "I've never seen his face," I'm like, "What do you mean? You see it in RE7, very briefly, but like you see it." And I'll point it out when we get there as well. It's near the end of the game. So Mia's bonking herself. There we go, that should do it. So what I'm trying to do is position myself in a specific spot so that Mia just gets up after about 10 seconds.
Now, someone in chat mentioned that they watch for the subtitles for triggers when running.
Oh, that's
so
smart.
I don't know if that helps.
That's smart. All right,
And
2
now
hits
she
not
has a
bad.
piece of wood.
Yep, but she's gone. So I tried to do the Mia one hit. It's incredibly difficult to get. Probably harder than the Mia 2 one hit. The higher frame rate allows you to clip into their hitboxes. And I was trying to get multi-hits on that. I think I got 1 because she went down in 2 slashes. And it takes 3 heavy hits for her to go down. So I must have gotten at least 1 multi-hit. And so now we're introduced to Zoe. Zoe is one of the bakers. She's trying to help Ethan escape. And there are these specific phone calls that we have to pick up. This is one of them. There's a few more. In that Mia 1 fight, you want to make it so that she falls into the hallway so you can just pick up the axe. And here's another retry checkpoint. Same thing, gives you a bit more movement speed.
So are there any restart checkpoints that like boost you ahead, like in 8?
No, not as far as I know. Mostly it's reset movement speed as well as to, in one case, disable an enemy's iframes from them spawning. I'm going the wrong way.
Oh no.
Too ahead of myself.
Also, Mia's awake again.
Yep.
She may be immortal.
Oh no, look, she's back.
Oh no.
And so here's where we first get to see the Zero D in action.
With the more hand torture, but instead of it getting cut off,
Yeah.
it's...
So that's completely different. On the Steam version, it will be a screwdriver through the palm. On Zero D, it's this 3-pronged instrument through what is probably an artery. So I think this is worse. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the RE7 runners also agree this is worse to happen to you. I'd rather a screwdriver through the palm.
Yeah,
And,
it almost looks like she just put a sigh through you, and it's like, okay, an actual weapon versus a screwdriver, okay.
Yep, exactly. And so yeah, we still have our hand. They just they kind of phoned in the censoring Like it's still he still has the same animations as if his hand was cut off, but like we just have our hand still.
They're just flesh wounds, okay?
Yeah, he's fine. It's fine. Nothing bad ever happens to Ethan. Don't worry. There's another retry checkpoint you can do here, but it only saves a quarter of a second, I think. So it's not worth it to do an RTA run. And it only saves that time if you get it exactly on the when it appears.
It's kind of a shame that they didn't give Ethan a chainsaw in New Game Plus. They gave him the bandsaw, but it's like, okay, cool, but come on, chainsaw, give us some Evil Dead. You kind of do it with Jack too.
So what I tried to do there is just launch Mia. So that's the Mia 2 one hit. You line up in a specific spot, and then you clip into her, do a strong hit while moving your mouse up. And what happens is you just hit through a bunch of her hitboxes at once. You can do that only with axes, as far as I know. And maybe I guess you can get multi-hits with the knife as well. And hey Jack, welcome back. And so that just kills Mia in one hit. It's let's just say when I was practicing before the run, I was struggling with it, but we got it down. We got it. So that was good. So that's Guest House. Guest House takes about 15 minutes in game. And that was a pretty solid Guest House. 2 hit Mia 1, that's probably average, and then a 1 hit Mia 2. And now we get the one of the best scenes in the game, the dinner table.
Vamos, no te mueras ahora. Tienes trabajo que hacer.
And because this is a family-friendly stream, I'm going to refrain from mocking the cutscenes like I normally do. Because the bakers, potty mouths.
¿Dónde estoy? ¿Pero qué?
Vamos arriba, dormilón. Es la hora de la cena.
¿Quiénes sois? Y Mía.
Come. Está rico.
So out of the Baker family, who is your favorite?
Oh, it's got to be Jack. Jack Baker is everyone's favorite. I swear. Also, another part of the censoring, Lucas doesn't get his arm cut off.
But he gets it severely broken.
Yep. Hi, Jack. I don't want it. No. Oh, I guess I'm eating. So, interesting fact about the Bakers. They each represent a different genre of horror. Margarita's body horror, bugs and stuff. Jack's slasher films. And Lucas does puzzles, those types of horror movies. Like puzzle horror, mastermind, jigsaw type stuff. And there's Grandma. Hi, Grandma. Grandma's just sleeping.
Joder, seguro que es el poli otra vez.
So now we're coming up to Hallway. Hallway is a big reset point the more you play the game. Especially if you're going for something called wall skip. I don't go for that because it makes the out of bounds later on a lot more difficult. For me anyways. So I'm hoping Jack behaves himself. Right, Jack? What do you say? Instagrab. Okay, thank you, Jack. Nope, I'm gonna get hit again. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. I should have crouched to go through. Alright, so yeah, so that's Hallway. We love Hallway. Jack can do a bunch of things. The insta-grab is obviously not great because you lose like 4 seconds. And right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stare at the ground. This makes sure that I can boost my FPS as much as possible. Because I'm going to go for something called phone skip or cheater skip, depending on how you want to call it. As long as I don't... There we go. Okay, so let's see. Do we get it? Yep, there we go. And so basically what the game does is it will push you out of the room somehow. Zeke knows more. He explains it better. But because of your FPS, your hitbox gets, when you climb up that hole, it makes it think you're like upstairs for some reason. And that causes this phone call to trigger because the phone triggers once you go outside this room. And it's called cheater skip because you need at least 300 frames to get it. And so here's Deputy Anderson. What I did is I bumped into that wall to trigger him. A lot of the early game is finding specific triggers. So during hallway, you saw that I touched the door. I interacted with the door. This part of the trigger gets the deputy to spawn. And then bumping into that wall gets him to spawn. And he's going to give us our first weapon.
Bien, déjeme decirle algo. La situación en la que se encuentra es un tanto sospechosa, ¿no?
¿Está de broma?
Como le iba diciendo, tenemos a varios desaparecidos. Y no puedo descartar que un extraño como usted esté implicado.
Vale. Le contaré lo que sé.
Bien, eso está mejor. Nos vemos en el garaje. Allí hablamos.
Espere. Présteme su arma.
Debe haber perdido la cabeza.
Mire, oficial.
Ayudante.
Vale. Ayudante. ¿Quiere ver mi esquela en los periódicos? ¿O quiere ser el héroe que me salva?
Man, Ethan's hands look rough. Never actually paid attention to his hands, but yeah, they look bad.
¿Un triste cuchillo?
Vamos. Cójalo.
All right, so we're starting out with the pocket knife, which will be used for exactly one fight.
Ya.
I think Ethan gets the weakest knife out of any protagonist in the series history.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I guess his would be the weakest. I know the knife's strong, obviously in RE2R. The knife's really strong. CVX, the knife is really strong. Chris's knife is really good in RE1, as far as I know. Or it might just be because Chris does more damage with the knife. I'm not sure how the knives work in the OG games. So here's another part of Zero D. He doesn't get his head cut off. And Jack doesn't kick the body, so it saves some time. Not sure exactly the numbers on any of the time saves. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stand here. I'm going to hope for no shelf lock. Perfect. And then I'm going to interact with the car as soon as Jack goes to hit. And that gets him to go into the car soon. 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to slash him 12 times with the knife and then shoot him twice. You have to wait until the car starts driving, otherwise he just tanks the hits.
That poor car never stood a chance.
Nope, never stood a chance. The car
Also,
that...
I was unaware that Jack kicks the cop's body.
Yep. If on the Steam version, Jack will beat the cop's dead body up.
Never noticed.
Yeah, he kicks it like 2 or 3 times. Funny thing is that RE3R, the car that you drive off a parking lot or a parking garage, is the same car. It's Ethan's car just reskinned. So that car just has no luck in RE games.
Rest in peace, car.
So that's another RTA interaction that can activate while you're doing other things. So we'll turn it, and then open the, or move the shelf. So a lot of menuing is done during your downtime, like I was talking about earlier. So that's what I was just doing, moving my cursor where I need it. Everyone's menu, every runner's menu is different as well. Like I'll have a different menu to like Captain Ezekiel, Dynasty. I didn't get my ADS, that feels bad. On certain pickups, if you're trying to sprint while you're picking things up, you want to aim down sight. And now I'm going to focus, and then I'll explain what I did afterwards, just because this section can be pretty precise.
Es la hostia. Te aseguro que es mejor que morir. Mi pequeña... Lo que en resumen significa que estás jodido.
Unfortunate. I don't know if it's because I got stuck on the corner there. You don't want Jack to break that wall there. Jack, move. No, don't grab me. Okay, whatever. I'm through the hallway. All right, well, backup strats for Marathon. It's fine. Come on, Jack. So because he broke the wall, I can't interact with an item. So I have to wait for him to follow me onto the staircase. I'm gonna stab him. The staircase counts as a separate... Just double checking. That staircase counts as a different room. So if you stagger him on there, you can actually interact with this puzzle. Don't know why it counts like that. I don't know if it's because I got stuck on the corner or if I had bad positioning. Hey, Jack, come on. Oh, he actually gave me the... Whatever, we'll go to 30 FPS anyways. FPS swapping lowers their hitboxes so you can squeeze by them easier. Alright, well that worked at least. Okay, so what I was trying to do is the out of bounds. I need to drop some ammo. Also because of... There we go. So, those 2 shots in the bathroom were to make sure that Jack staggers correctly. The 2 shots downstairs were so that he gets aggro towards you. Same with the other shots. Wrong FPS. Ideally, you would want him to not... There we go. Break the wall. So I had to do a backup strat. And the reason that we have to do that puzzle is if we don't do that puzzle, we will soft lock. But if Jack's in a specific spot, he'll break the wall. So if he's not following you enough... Oh, that's not good. I missed. All right. Same thing for this fight. I need to focus on it, and then I'll explain why I was doing things. But this is the Jack 2 boss fight. It's pretty precise on New Game and New Game Plus as well. Oh, please don't stagger to the right. All right, perfect. All right, so the first 4 shots were so that he would expose his weak area. Then you go down to 30 FPS because it makes it so that he doesn't stand up as fast, so you can get 7 quick shots. So quick shots are done by shooting and then aiming down sight in a rhythmic pattern, and it allows you to fire the G17 faster. Then once he gets up, you dodge the saw, do your menuing. And then when he comes down, you'll shoot him twice in the head to expose his weak spot again, and then just saw. And you have to be careful. If you're in the wrong position, when he starts standing up, you'll start clipping the saw on his chainsaw, and then you won't get the quick kill. That was another part where Zero D saves time as well. On Steam, he will walk around after he explodes. And he walks around, it just takes a bit of time. Oh, that sounds completely different too. This is great. I've never played this game on other languages, so thank you everyone for donating for Spanish. It changes a lot of stuff in terms of audio.
It's almost like it's a fresh run.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just grabbing a couple keys that we need. Making sure our inventory is in the right spot. And now we get to go to the trailer. Or, well, I guess technically a quick little detour. We got to go under the house quickly. I'm not sure if many people found this casually. I don't know if there's like a hint to find this. Or if there's only the one hint for a repair kit. But there's a repair kit down here. And we're going to use that to fix the shotgun. The shotgun becomes the main weapon. Many people who play the game probably use the 4-barrel shotgun. It's incredibly weak. The 2-barrel shotgun is much, much stronger. Probably the strongest weapon. Especially in New Game, the strongest weapon. But it's even stronger than the Albert from New Game Plus. It's slow to get, so we don't do it in New Game Plus.
Now, do you prefer third-person Resident Evil or first-person Resident Evil?
Third-person Resident Evil, but if it's built for third-person. I was not, like, for the Village DLC, third-person is a thing. I haven't played Village on third-person yet, but the way that the DLC controlled, it felt like it was, since the engine was built for first-person, it was just first-person, but moved back a little bit. And so I didn't like the way that controlled. Because sometimes the first-person turnarounds like that, it's a bit nauseating. So we're coming up on Old House. This is the section leading up to the Marguerite boss fights. Again, aim down sight pickups allow you to come to a walking speed, and then you can sprint immediately afterwards. All right, sorry, Marge. I'll go away. Don't worry. So a lot of the new game ammo routing is specifically for the March 2 boss fight, so that's why you'll see me pick up certain ammo pickups and stuff. For example, those shotgun shells I just picked up are the final... That's not gonna work. There you go. Are the final piece I need for the March fight, as well as the 7 enhanced ammo I have. So that's why everything's precise. If you miss a shot, your run's pretty much dead, or you're just gonna go extremely slow. Because the March 2 fight can go severely wrong really easily. Alright, let's see if I can get a good animation. Yep. Well, so like I said, if you get a good lineup on your animations, it's super, super fast. Because Ethan doesn't get dragged to anything. Oh, really? Unfortunate. Yeah, I did shut the door, or at least. Marge, stop swearing. This is a family-friendly event. No respect. I must have taken the line a bit too close to her. You can dodge Marge there. By bumping into that radiator and going to the left. It's been a while since I failed that. So we just picked up the crow key. We're gonna go use it on this door now. Ah! Hey Marge, what are you doing? So that's a really good jump scare. I think I've seen a couple people when that happens. Oh, it's like you're not expecting it, so it's really good. It's a good use of a jump scare. All right, so that's the Marge 1 boss fight. Not too bad. At least that one went well. I've definitely lost runs to that fight, unfortunately. Sometimes the shotgun spread misses, so it's 2 handgun bullets, and I just don't recognize that, like, oh, I need to shoot another bullet. And so you can just lose a run. If you try to climb the ladder while she's still alive, she just hits you, you just fall off, you get a bunch of bugs thrown at you. It's not a good time. So this is our last mandatory phone call. Zoe's telling us about the serum. And casually what you would need to do is go upstairs and check to see that you need the lantern and come back down. But that's slow. We're gonna try to do something different.
No, aún no. Aún me queda la segunda planta.
Vale, búscalo. Ve a la caravana después.
So if I line up in a specific spot, breaks the wall. There we go. Ooh, that sounds really different. All right, so that's lanterns yet. It saves you having to go upstairs. Saves about, I think, 15 seconds. If you get the correct one, there's a couple ways to fail it. If you're too far left, you fall down in the hole and nothing happens, and you have to climb back up for something to happen. If you're too far right, you get teleported to the right. It still happens, but it's slower because you can't drop back down. Make sure all the guns are loaded. Perfect. All right. So here's the March 2 boss fight. Hopefully nothing too weird happens. You can reload cancel by hitting the block button as soon as the bullets are reloaded. Perfect. All right, really good fight. So all of that was done very precisely to kill Marge. The 4 shots, the shotguns. You want to try to get headshots as well. Because they do more damage to her. A bit far away from the lantern, that's fine. I'm going to check this drawer because it's an RNG drop. I'm going to see if there's a heal in here. Perfect. Just in case. We did take a beating from a bunch of stuff earlier. March 2 is where a lot of runs go to die because of the fight. The fight is very precise, and she can lose you a ton of time if she goes into one of her hiding spots. Because she can go into a couple holes and then come out of other holes. It's just like she can just run around the map a lot, and you lose a ton of time for it.
Now, who would be your favorite boss out of the entire game?
Favorite boss to fight? I mean, the obvious answer, quote unquote, is probably like the easiest boss I would say is Eevee, but the favorite would probably be Jack 3. It's a pretty nice fight. My only issue is one specific eye shot that you have to do. But Jack 3 is a pretty interesting boss fight. There's a strat you can do there where you go down to 30 FPS. You'll get through the hole faster, but it's slower RTA, so I just don't go for it during marathon runs. But that's again to do with like the way hitboxes work in this game. So another retry checkpoint here. Makes this molded out here have no iframes. You can still sometimes tank a shot. Which is kind of annoying, but it's whatever. We'll have enough ammo.
That children's bedroom seems to have seen some better days.
Yeah, the old house definitely probably got messed up in the hurricane that hit this area. Or I guess I don't know if it was a hurricane or just a really bad storm. Which is how this event took place. Is a really bad storm happened, washing up a ship that we'll see later. I don't know if there's any ship enjoyers in the chat, but the ship is a thing that we will see. So normally you would have to answer a telephone call, but we can just bump the trailer and just walk away. That's just Lucas telling us that he hit a key. Bye, Lucas. We'll see you later.
And I imagine that the grabbing of this key is censored as well, right?
Yeah, so this is where the most of your time save will come from, is the grabbing of the snake key. On the Steam version, you have to reach your hand into the deputy's neck, which is a really long cutscene, really gross, very disturbing. Thank you, game. Yeah, it's on the table. Bye.
That is convenient.
Yeah, it saves a lot of time. Nope. There's a thing you can do with that door where you can get it to open immediately. I've never been able to do it. You have to stand like a specific distance away and move at a specific time. I need a gun out. And then the door will just pop open. Doors are weird in this game. Like it's faster sometimes to like stand a bit further back from a door that you have to unlock to open. And now you might be like, hey, wait, you already have the red key card. Why are we going in here? Yeah, you have to do this puzzle. Otherwise the game does not like it. And you soft lock. Same as if you put the key card in early. Like that's why we don't have the key card in the door or anything. If you put the key card in early, the game soft locks. If you don't do that puzzle, those two puzzles that we did during the run, you soft lock. A lot of things built in to be like, hey, why is this happening? All right, I healed. I was about to say. Usually I grab that herb because it's free. Like you're waiting for this ladder to drop, so you just grab the herb and heal. And I run the hardest puzzle. Hopefully, nope, that's not gonna work. There we go. This one's super precise. So the other two, we didn't really talk about the shadow puzzles. The other two shadow puzzles are not very precise. You can be like off by a decent chunk and it will work. Especially the bird. The bird you can be off by like a bunch and it just pulls it towards it. But that puzzle, you need to be very, very close to the correct solution. Otherwise it just does not work.
I don't want to imagine what those puzzles are like in VR.
So the VR in this game, you have to play using a regular controller. So I guess it would be the same as it would be on console, but they probably just look weird, for sure. And, we're coming up on another cutscene, so if there's any donations, or if you want to talk about the charity, you've got tons of time to do it, because this is the Lucas TV section.
Oh yay, the Lucas TV section. Everyone's favorite part. Fortunately, we don't currently have any donations. However, here we are currently raising money for the charity. We are hoping to get 1,500. That's, you know, what our goal wants to be. We're about a sixth of the way there. Thanks everybody who has donated before. We super appreciate it. Oh god, I've lost my notes. No. Again, the charity is to write Love on Her Arm, and it is dedicating to finding help for people struggling with depression, addiction, and self-injury. So it's a great cause, and any donations are appreciated.
So this cutscene, the visual for that probably makes most people gross. I hate the sound more than anything else of him pulling his fingernails off, because I've lost fingernails before. That's not fun, but that sound of him just pulling it makes my stomach turn. This is probably my least favorite cutscene, just because of that sound. So regarding this cutscene, there are two recorded instances of something happening. I think they were both on console. I think one casual, one during a run, where they sat down and the TV immediately exploded. And that's known as TV skip. Currently, if it happens in a run, your run's invalid because we have no way to replicate it, and it's a 2-minute time save, so that would not be fair for anyone. But hopefully we can find... Hopefully there's a way to set up TV skip, because it would be a really nice, like, it'd bring this game down a lot more than it already is. So bomb room, we're gonna try to do some precise shots here. Nice. Ooh, shotgun. That's a rare drop. You normally never get shotgun ammo here. Gotta reload.
Let's go, shotgun ammo.
And for that wall, you just run into it and go 90 degrees. You just run into the wall and go 90, and you can dodge the second bomb.
Now, I have a dumb question about the door code. Is it possible to know the number before going through the entire escape room section here?
Good question. If you input any number, which the solution is 1408, if you input that, it actually just randomizes it to some random, like, not even like up from a list of things. It's just, I think, completely random. Just completely randomizes it, and you have to go through this section and then look at the code. They really did not want you to skip this area. All right, well, we missed, so we're gonna just crouch. Yeah, I wish it worked. It would be really nice if it had like just a list, but based off of things I've saw and like I was reading on the internet, because I was just trying to see like maybe if it was like even just a couple like choices that they had, it would be faster to just click. No, doesn't No, it's just completely random 4 digits. And there are just so many possibilities from 4 digits. It's very unfortunate that we have to go through this section because I hate this boss fight the most. Mini boss fight. I hate this one the most. Alright, well. Besides getting puked on, this fight actually went way better than normal. So that's a fat molded. We'll see another one of those later. But this fight, very precise. The reason I space my shots out slower, like I didn't quick shoot or anything, is if you shoot him too fast, he goes into this animation where he's choking. And he has invincibility. So it's actually slower to go to. It's slower to go faster. I love when games do that. If you go too fast, you get punished.
As someone I know says, slow is a speed.
Yep.
It's a shame that Lucas doesn't get his comeuppance in the base game. You have to play not a hero for him to finally get what's coming to him.
Yeah, so let's talk about Lucas a little bit as well, because we just have a little puzzle session here. You might be thinking, okay, everyone's evil, right? But later on we'll learn some information that no, actually it's just Evie doing this stuff, who is the big bad of this game. Except for Lucas, because we already would have read, if we were doing this casually, we would have read through his journal, or I guess it was a diary. And Lucas is just a psychopath. He enjoys causing pain, he enjoys killing. He's just there's a lot wrong with Lucas, so I'm glad he gets his comeuppance later. Like, Jack and Marge, tragic stories, but Lucas is actually just a bad person.
His boss fight reminded me of G. Birkin. This was before RE2 Remake came out, and I was like, huh, that seems very familiar. Because he kind of takes the same form and everything, and I'm like, oh, alright, cool.
Yeah. Definitely. It's an interesting fight. I think I've only done Not a Hero once. I generally, I don't know, I haven't done them. Normally when I do runs, I'll learn like every possible category, or I'll try to learn categories. Like, for example, Resident Evil 2, I run 24, 25 different categories. There's a lot of categories in Resident Evil 2 Remake. But I just never got into Not a Hero. I played it once casually, and then just didn't run it. So yeah, it was a trick. We got blown up. If you've never played this game, I would highly recommend doing the tape in the wardrobe where we got the blue key card, which is the tape that explains how to do this puzzle. It's a very interesting. If you like escape rooms, very fun. The downside is Lucas doesn't want you to escape, but like it's an escape room type vibe. All right, so I position myself around the corner a little bit, like around that little bend, and that allows me to just walk through the explosion. I have a key. I don't want that key. Oh well. We have a key now. I don't think it messes with my menu later. That's fine. All right, so we're making our way around these docks. We're in the swamp. I guess I didn't mention. It mentions it in the first cutscene. We're in Louisiana. There's a lot of swamps around here, and the Baker residence is on a farm. explains why it's just enormous. There's probably a heal in that box. I'm just gonna ignore it. We'll be fine. A lot of molded around here. We're just gonna ignore them as well, except for a couple things coming up here. This crawler that jumps up. What's up, buddy? We want to touch him and then shoot him. It's mainly just to ensure that his iframes are actually gone when we go to shoot him. Otherwise, he tanks the shot and you get slashed, which is not cool. And we just, you know, we came here to save Mia, and then we ignore her. Kind of, you know, just kind of rude, because you can actually untie Mia, but that's slow.
Debemos fabricarlos rápido. Mi padre y Lucas no están lejos. Papá está cerca. Bien, basta para dos.
All right, and this is actually faster. We're not sure why. It's faster to just walk away, come down here, then go back up.
Hay una barca afuera.
But it makes Zoe finish creating the serum quicker.
No llegaremos lejos sin el suero. Uno es mío.
All right, this might be a bit dicey because I have my pistol out. Hopefully, we should be fine, though. My shotgun is reloaded. I just have to switch. It's on 2. That sounded very strange. I should play this game on Spanish more. This is interesting.
I feel like they also had a missed opportunity here with making a Shining reference.
I'm gonna try that one more time. It's probably faster to do this. I made just a small mistake. I've lost a run like this before where I didn't have my gun out. Which is unfortunate. Hopefully I can get this shot down, even with having to switch to the shotgun. There we go. Okay, we're good. Whew. Bit worried. The fight goes very, very slow if you don't get that shot down. So you want to pace out your shots while you're doing Jack 3. The fight's simple mechanically because you just want to shoot the eyes. But if you don't pace your shots out, he actually has a bunch of invincibility frames, so you gotta wait. That was a perfect, besides the start of it, perfect Jack 3.
Very nice.
We have a ton of ammo for salt mines later. Jack, that's not nice, man. I don't know why I did that. That doesn't matter. You get healed when you get back to Ethan. Hey, Zoe.
Ethan, por aquí.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, wait. Hey, Jack. And, yeah. We just injected Jack with the serum that cures the infection. And you might think this is the end of Jack. Nope. Jack will return in a DLC later on.
Where he awfully reminds me of Nemesis.
Yeah, kind of. He doesn't really, like, he just pursues you and then just doesn't die.
Vamos, Mia nos espera.
That's a good DLC as well. All the DLC for Resident Evil 7, really good. Highly recommend them. If you like escape rooms, the bedroom DLC is really good for that. Also, yeah, this dialogue never made sense to me.
¿Qué vamos a hacer ahora?
Where Zoe gets mad that there's only one serum left, but she told us to use the serum, so why are you, like, what did you expect? I don't know. It just, this dialogue doesn't make sense. When you hear it over and over again, you just start thinking about it like, wait. But, like, you told me to use the serum, so why are you getting mad?
Could it be that it wasn't actually her that told you and it was Evelyn playing a trick on you?
Maybe, but I don't see Evelyn doing. Actually, I guess Evelyn doesn't really care about Jack. She wants Ethan, so maybe. Never thought about that. And so this one gives you. So this section gives you a choice. You choose either Mia or Zoe. In the speedrun route, you choose Mia. It saves at least a minute. Because if you choose Zoe, then you have to do another Mia boss fight using a crowbar. And obviously that's going to be slow. RE7 is a very nice, comfy speedrun if you're learning it. Like if you've never done a speedrun before, because like I said, there's no RNG. It's a longer run, like closer to like an hour 40 RTA an hour. Like when you're learning it takes a bit. But there's a lot of built-in bathroom breaks. You've got Lucas TV, you've got this cutscene, you've got another cutscene coming up. They're all like 2 minutes long. The intro cutscene's a bathroom break length. So another 2-minute cutscene. And I know that the cutscenes off-put people. Like people don't like running this game because it's just they don't like not having the ability to skip the cutscenes. But honestly, you just kind of ignore them. You just talk to chat usually. So that's the oil ship. What's up? This is the cause of all of our issues. That and where is she? There she is. That and this. Oh, that's weird. Thank you again, everyone, for donating for a different language, because otherwise I just never changed the language. Like, I think I've made this comment a couple times too. I've never played this game. Like, besides my first playthrough up to March 2, I've never played this game in English. Don't even know what the English dialogue sounds like.
Ethan?
Hey, Ethan. Bye, Ethan. All right, so yeah, so you would think, you know, getting the Jack 3. Jack 3 seemed like a final boss fight. You know, like a big bad with a bunch of eyes. That seems like an RE final boss fight, right? And then you get through that fight and you find there's a whole nother section. And it's completely different than the early game. Which might have given, like, some people some issues with RE7. I feel, especially because you can easily spend a couple hours lost in ship, backtracking and just getting lost in general because everything looks the same. I know when I first started running this game, I lost at least 6 minutes in just being lost. Like I took a wrong corner or stuff like that because it's just that confusing. Thankfully, once you do a few runs, ship doesn't get to be that confusing anymore. So here, you don't want to be looking at the ground, because if you're looking at the ground, this cutscene doesn't actually trigger. You go past the hard hat on the ground, and then you just turn. Yeah, that's right. All right, crawling around in some ventilation shafts, normal Resident Evil things. Well, actually, I guess not really. This one more so, more of a Dino Crisis thing for ventilation shafts. And we're gonna do another retry checkpoint here. There we go. So this skips Mia's landing animation and also puts you facing the correct direction that you need to go. You can lose time on that. It probably still saves time overall, but it's possible to lose time on that if your CPU isn't fast enough. Because load time, the IGT for this game is kind of weird. Where like when you're trying to load in, sometimes it still runs. What's up, Evie? Bye, Evie. These are the kind of horror genres that scare me. The ones where there's like a possessed child, because it's always just terrifying. Or dolls. Like Annabelle, very creepy horror. Not a big fan of dolls.
I don't think anyone's a fan of creepy dolls.
Yeah, they're honestly like, dolls are just terrifying. So here's an area that if your FPS is too high, you soft lock. Her moving out of the way is tied to this audio playing. So if the audio doesn't play, she doesn't move. All right, we're coming up on tape. Oh, I wasn't close enough. You can pick up that tape and put it in, like in just by mashing, if you're angled correctly and close enough. So here's tape. Here's Alan as well. We don't like Alan. Alan likes to talk. And we don't want Alan to talk. We want him to just let us play the game. Also, Mia's very cold. Alan says it's his fault, and she's like, yeah, you're right, it is you. Like, she doesn't know, like, sympathy or anything. She's like, yeah, you messed up.
Sí, es culpa tuya. Pero no por ello voy a dejarte morir.
Oh yeah, I guess something we didn't talk about is Mia works for a bioterrorist organization. So I don't know. Probably didn't tell Ethan that either. It's kind of just kind of weird. I love that I missed that. Thank you, game. Alright, so that's the Alan 1 skip. Normally you'll do it faster. Like the first turn I did, I just wasn't close enough. And the way that one works is you open the door, and you want to be lined up max distance interaction range, and then as soon as you interact, you want to walk out that door. It saves probably around 20 seconds, if I'm remembering correctly. Otherwise, Alan calls you, you're stuck in that room, you can't go anywhere.
Gotta say, I was never a fan of Alan. Just does not seem like a good guy.
No, he works for the same organization. He just, I don't know. He's rude. He started all this mess. Now we gotta go around and do stuff. Like, come on, Alan. I guess the mechanic I forgot to talk about is cheap shots. I don't know if we'll see one here anytime soon. Cheap shots happen when a molded's spawning in. And they can hit you as they're spawning in. So there's like no way to dodge it, nothing like that, no way to block it. They not even spawned in yet and they just hit you. I think that will work. So that's the first part of the Alan 2 skip. Like I said, we don't really want to talk to Alan, you know? You got to put that bomb at a specific distance. I think that's correct. We'll find out in a little bit. If it's wrong, hopefully it doesn't put me in crit, because running through tape and crit is not great.
¿Estás enfadada, mami?
No, Evie. No, no estoy enfadada. Espera. ¿Qué me has llamado?
No quiero vivir en este laboratorio. Quiero una casa. Y quiero que seas mi mamá.
Sí.
Hi, Evie. Bye, Evie.
Evie, espera.
Alright, so you can't skip this entire phone call like you can with the first one.
Salió corriendo.
But if we set this bomb up right, we can just skip being stuck behind this door.
¿Estás bien?
There we go. Also, hey, look, there's Evie. She's just sliding away. Hi, Evie. Bye. So if you place the bomb too close, you blow yourself up and you go into crit and you fall to the ground and it doesn't work. I'm gonna grab this heal. Cool. There's a cheap shot. He was spawning in and hit me. Actually, I think he hit me twice. I think that was a double. They can double and triple cheap shot you. Very fun. This section is also fun too because Mia insists on looking at her watch while she's in mortal danger. Oh, that's not good. That's fine. Don't hit me. Cool. Yeah, that's right. Can I not delete this? Darn, I'm gonna pick up Mia's items then. Alright, I don't know if this doesn't carry over, I don't think. You don't really want to have Mia's items because then your inventory gets full with stuff that you don't need. But I don't think this carries over from tape, so we're fine. Alright, for this guy, what I'm going to do is he's going to pop up. I'm going to go down to 30 FPS. Again, that lowers his hitboxes, allows me to streak by, and since he missed, I can actually go back up to 120. That molded can hit you from like super far away. I don't know like what it is, but he can be like down the hall and you're at the doors and he'll still hit you sometimes. So pretty decent tape. We're just making our way up to Alan again. I know, right? Never ends. Hi, Alan.
¿Cómo has llegado hasta aquí? Está fuera de control. Sin el tratamiento se está deteriorando.
Bueno, morir no va a ser tan nada.
No digas eso.
Confía en ti. Ese maldito nunca no espera.
And yeah, everyone in this game, just like they enjoy swearing, you know.
Debes luchar contra ella.
And bye, Alan. Oh, that screen sounds much worse than the Japanese version.
Evelyn, para. Para. Ahora mismo.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing that it sounds worse?
It's a good thing. Makes it more terrifying. Again, like completely new experience for the audio. Like when you're so used to a game. I have like I think 300 or 400 hours in RE7 at this point. Maybe, I think. I'm not sure. I have to check. And so like having just new audio is something I'm not used to.
That's fair. Are you also playing in Japanese in your other Resident Evil speedruns?
No, so RE2R doesn't matter. Language doesn't affect anything. I didn't really run RE3 all that much, which language affects a single dialogue in there and saves, I think, a couple seconds. And then in RE1R, the audio's in English, but your text will be in simplified Chinese because it scrolls faster.
Estaremos juntas para siempre.
So yeah,
Memory
language doesn't
serves.
really play a lot in a lot of the RE games for modern. Also,
If my memory serves me correctly, sorry, this
Yeah,
is the first
right.
game to have Japanese audio.
¿Te acuerdas ahora?
possibly. I don't think I've seen different dubbings. Also, as you might have noticed, we skipped a cutscene. That is the only skippable cutscene. And I think the only reason that's skippable is because this game was originally made for VR, and in that cutscene you get thrown across stuff, and it was probably a motion sickness reason.
Makes sense.
Because like in that cutscene is when the boat crashes. Mia gets thrown like across a couple of things. It's very nauseating. So I feel like they made that skippable because in VR that would be awful for people. So yeah, we're on part 2 of ship. This section probably made so many people confused because like getting up to this section, you're just walking in a straight line essentially. But then the ship opens up, and now we get to walk around more. So, ship is essentially just walk around, pick up some key items. This elevator is broken. We need 2 key items to get it fixed. I'm gonna pick up this knife. We're gonna get God Door. Let's go. If you do that correctly, you get it happens a lot. But if you do that correctly, the door stays open, so you can pick up the item and leave the room. It's been a while since I've done that. I figured that was going to happen because I didn't put the bomb down at the right time. You don't want to blow yourself up. As a general rule of thumb, blowing yourself up, not fun. And the only reason you pick up that knife is because you need it to break the box so you can get that bomb. Because it's faster than blocking the crawler. So we got our fuse back. We're going to go grab the power cable. This guy's not going to cheap shot me. Cool, he missed. Sometimes you just have to ask them or tell them, you know, you're not going to do this, and they'll listen. That doesn't work on Jack. Jack does what he wants. You can ask him politely. You can tell him. He'll just be like, no, I'm going to do what I want. It's fat molded. We just can walk past. Bye. All right. Have a great time. Same with this guy. You can just. What I love about running Resident Evil games is casually you're like, oh my god, those enemies, I'm so scared, and then you're like you're wasting all your ammo and stuff, and then in a speedrun you kind of just walk past everything or run past everything. It's really nice.
So I have to ask, what is your favorite Resident Evil?
It's a good question because I've played the majority of them. Probably Resident Evil 3 OG. I spent the most of my childhood playing that. Like that was the Resident Evil game I played the most when I was a kid. RE2R is really good. I tried, and the game is hard. I got to Acid Nemi a single time, and it's just I could never get that fight down. It's like really precise to do it quickly. Also, it's RNG the game, and if anyone's watched my streams when I'm playing Resident Evil 2 Remake, you know how much I just hate RNG puzzles.
Lo sé. No
Now, was that the spot where we see Ethan's face?
No. Actually, it's still blocked. We're coming up on it shortly. Well, it's right after salt mines. You can see Ethan's face a little bit clearer than him just looking away from you. You get to see his haircut and everything. So this cutscene is very it explains the motivation behind the bakers, and Jack is pretty much telling you like, hey, this wasn't us. Like, we got corrupted, and it's really heartbreaking. But as you can see, Jack's here, Zoe's here, Marguerite's here, who is actually dead based off this land. Lucas is nowhere to be found. And in salt mines, you'll find a note, a file that Lucas has been free from Evelyn's influence for years. I think 2 years, at least, maybe more. So he's just acting on his own thing, just doing whatever he wants. And if you read the files throughout like the main game, he's been doing some messed up things. So like that's why we just hate Lucas. Lucas, bad guy. You know. Also, Jack has no shadow. They forgot to animate his shadow on the wall. He has a chair, then his body's just gone. Again, during cutscenes, you just try to like look at things once you see them enough.
La niña lo que quiere es una familia. Ella es la clave. ¿Entiendes? Encuéntrala y deténla. Ethan, salva a mi familia. Por favor.
So if we had chosen Zoe, this is where you would have your third boss, your third Mia boss fight. But since we chose Mia, she's been cured of Evelyn's influences, and we can just actually just leave once we get pushed out.
Ok. No eres mi mamá. ¿Recuerdas?
Hey, Mia.
Mía, ¿cómo?
No hay tiempo. Tienes que salir de aquí y encontrarla. Toma.
See, she's just standing in the back there, so creepy. I don't know. Possessed children, always scary.
¿Qué estás haciendo?
Salvarte la vida. Tienes que irte. No voy a poder resistir mucho más.
Also, you gotta love how he still has his entire inventory, even though he's been held captive for like, I don't know, the last 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, like we don't have it in our inventory, but yeah, like he still has all his stuff. Kind of wild. He has Mia's stuff too somehow. I don't know. Video game logic.
Supernatural powers.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you just pour a little bit of bean juice on, or herb juice on your wounds, and you cure yourself. You know, just starry stuff.
Some people in chat are sad that Alan is no longer with us.
Oh no, the Alan sympathizers. Sorry guys, Alan. You know he had to go. He was
Alan
rude.
DLC when?
Oh my god. Alright, so coming into the last section of the game, the salt mines. There's a bunch of molded here. We're just gonna ignore them. Don't cheap shot me. Of course he did. Why? Why do you guys do this? Why? Funny thing about those molded, they're on top of the elevator and then they despawn. Like they'll fall down the hole and then they despawn, if I remember correctly. So yeah, just a cozy stroll through the salt mines.
You might say that a lot of runners might get salty here.
Not, yeah, honestly, not on easy so much. Salt mines is generally comfy on easy, but if you ever play this game on Madhouse, salt mines is a nightmare. Like, if you're on Madhouse, you would not be doing this with no weapons like I am.
Just a reminder, everyone, that we are doing this marathon to Write Love on Her Arms, a non-profit dedicated to helping people struggling with depression, addiction, self-injury, and suicide. So please consider donating to this great cause, and of course, enjoying the rest of the runs. There is more Resident Evil to come after this as well, so don't go anywhere.
Yeah, definitely a great cause. So you take your items later because you can do it while that's going, or while that's trying to create the serum. I was a bit slow, so it was already ready, but it happens. So as you can see, look how slow we are. This is kind of wild. You just you walk into the salt mines proper, and then you just slow down completely. And we don't like being slow. You know, we're speedrunners. We want to go fast. So as soon as this checkpoint shows up, yeah. And now we're zooming. Don't know why it resets speed, but I'm happy because now we just can zoom. Also, that guy went flying. I love that when you shoot that guy, he just flies.
He just wanted to go fast too.
Sir? I've never had that molded go flying towards me like that and just block the way. That's great. I love that.
Evelyn has to try to stop you from going fast, okay?
Yeah,
So-
exactly. So you just shoot those fat molded with a neurotoxin round, and you just yeah, just climb the ladder, and we're coming close to the end of the game. And Ethan's face.
I'm actually looking forward to this build-up of seeing his face.
It's not that great. It's very disappointing. Just gonna say that right there. I always point it out because people always say they never get to see Ethan's face, but like, I guess they want it in more detail. But there you go. There he is. Look, we can see his face. Bye, Ethan. He's just some dude. I don't know. It's just I think a pet peeve, where though like we never get to see the face, and it's like you do. It's just you don't get to see it clearly. But it's probably like better than you get to see it in RE8, as far as I know. Like even in third person, like he just looks away. That's the best you'll get. He's just some dude, which makes this even better, because like RE1, RE2, well RE2, Claire was just. But Claire had training from her brother. So like Ethan doesn't have any training for any of this. He just wanted to save his wife, just being a good dude, and got thrust into like a nightmare scenario. Gosh, that laughter, Evelyn. Hi.
No voy a jugar.
Also, doll. Just the, I don't know. I hope RE4 doesn't have dolls. there shouldn't be. I don't think there was any in the original. So hopefully they don't do the doll stuff again.
I mean, technically in the Hookman build there was dolls, but you know, that was the Hookman build.
There we go. That's the EV1 cycle. You block one hit, and if you angle correctly, and Nico with a C showed me this line, you just basically try not to look at her like full on. You can get pulled in as she does her second blast, you just skip getting blown back. Also, surprise, it was Grandma all along. Grandma, how could you? I trusted you. And yeah, it's the final boss fight. Let's go. Very disappointing final boss fight. You just shoot her, you quick shoot her 19 times with enhanced ammo and she dies on easy. So like that's the only thing I have an issue with RE7. Like, it's a great game otherwise, looks beautiful. Doesn't look beautiful on stream right now because again we play on lower graphics. But the only downside is the final boss fight's kind of weird. That is the wrong gun. Hey Evie. I mean, this is cool thematically. But like to actually fight her, it's kind of a disappointment. Oh.
Would you say it's the most disappointing boss fight, final boss fight in the series?
I'm trying to think what other boss fights. Yeah, it's probably the most disappointing one. RE2, like the Tyrant and G4 are really interesting. G5 is a really interesting fight. Final Nemi, like if you play it on harder difficulties, is very interesting as well. RE4's final boss fight takes a while. RE1, yeah, no, this is probably the most disappointing. Also, I'm gonna just take my controller off and or my mouse, and we're just gonna shoot. And that's a strat so that you don't move at all. You just take it off the desk and just click, and so you'll always get a 4-shot. Or you should always get a 4-shot. And time is coming up soon. After it fades to black. So we have to wait a little bit. She falls apart. Bye, Evie. And time.
GG's. Good stuff. 1:30:36 was your time. And if people want to find you, where can they find you?
So if you want to find me, you can find me at twitch.tv/deschain33. Twitter's the same. YouTube is some same name on YouTube as well. And if you're interested, I do a variety of different, I'm a variety speedrunner. So I do platformers, I do Dark Souls, I do Resident Evil. I'll find a game that looks cool and I'm like, you know what, let's learn this for like a couple months and I'll just run through it. Currently I'm working on Resident Evil 1 remake, Joe any % door skip. So if you're interested in that, definitely come check out, come hang out. Thanks everyone for having me again. This was a fun time.
And thank you for being here. And don't go anywhere, everyone. We have Resident Evil 8.
To solve some puzzles. So that's the thing. Light world, dark world, and my stamina will be the 3 important things in the run.